Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's game review. Today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic again. And a good portion of this video is just going to be informational in that respect, kind of telling you what's going on my end. It has nothing to do with anything else than that. So I got all the way through the first section of the game. Got to the point where I was doing the turret section at the end of the first, I guess, section, where you're leaving the planet. And during the cutscene, my XP computer, something hardware-wise, popped. I have no idea what piece of hardware popped. So that computer is down, and I do not know when I'm going to be getting it back up. I have several hours of gameplay. I mean, I'm sure the first section of that game is probably like 10 hours. So I got a little bit. What do I like about that game so far? Well, other than the issues that it was having, and it was having a few small issues, and I don't know exactly what was causing them. It wasn't a very stable game, and I think that has a lot to do with the ATI video card, because I remember this game being a lot more stable than what it was when I went to play through it this time. I had it lock up on me 4 or 5 times. There's a particular sequence of things that you can do that will lock it up every time. And I tried my best to avoid doing that. So this game was obviously released with issues, to say the least, with some configurations as far as hardware configurations. And I don't know how I'm going to solve that. I mean, maybe I'll just go ahead and throw a GeForce video card into it. And I do have a GeForce video card I can throw into it. It's not as good, I guess, as the one that was in there. But it's functional, and I'm going to give that a try. But truly, I don't know if that's even going to solve the problem. I don't even know if the video card is the problem. I mean, I know it is in some aspects, but I mean, as far as what shut the computer down, I have no idea. It just won't turn on. It gives me a red light. The system's so old that there aren't LEDs on the motherboard to tell you what piece of hardware isn't loading properly. That's something that came a little later, and I like that. I like that the newer boards that either have some type of code or beep system, or lights flashing on and off to tell you what the problem is. I'm gonna try hooking a old PC speaker to that motherboard to see if there is a beep system on it, because I truly don't know. And if there is, then maybe I can define what the problem is that way. Otherwise, it's a whole lot more difficult to identify the non-functional hardware. And I may work on that regardless. I mean, I've got 2 systems down right now for a piece of hardware that doesn't function within them. That's my Windows 98 and my Windows XP system. And then my backup system, which is Windows 10, the power supply went out. And it was a good power supply, but it's way past its warranty. Even though it wasn't used much for 10 years, it's past its warranty. So I need to get a new power supply. I don't know how I'm going to do any of that, to be honest with you. But we'll get there. I'm working on it. The game itself is enjoyable. truly. I mean, I haven't had a problem in that respect as far as how I enjoyed the game. It's been pretty decent, pretty fun. Um, it's a very, compared to some of the systems that are in games today, it's pretty basic as far as the, um, I guess, sub menus that are accessible through it. So it keeps it relatively simple to understand and follow. But like I said, the game itself obviously had a lot of bugs that it was released with. And unless you're playing it on a truly a hardware wise system that it was actually designed to be played on, it has some pretty major issues. So I get the reviews from when it was released, and I understand why people were saying that that game was just filled with bugs and caused the system to lock up all that. I actually see that now because I'm working on let's just say not the most optimum system for playing that game. And that's kind of depressing, truly, because I'm pretty sure that it was the programming in that respect. I've seen programming harm my hardware before, and even recently with like the, what was it, the 3090s, I believe. There was a particular game that would just cause the card to burn up. Um, yeah, so I totally get that. And that's truly been a problem for years, where particular programs would cause unknown issues and damage hardware as a result. And all that, it's just programming, bad programming in that respect. And nobody caught it, and obviously nobody cared. I mean, with the 3090 thing, it went so far as it was an outsourced company who outsourced another company who hired people that had no conception of what they were doing, and the end result was a program that literally destroyed hardware. Um, so, yeah, the whole system's broken as far as that goes today. I you know, even mainstream games today are so broken that they have to pull them from the market. Cyberpunk's a good example of it. The game was so broken and unplayable that they literally pulled it from the market. Um, it's a sad reality, and I don't see that getting better because nobody is demanding that these laws be changed to reflect the problems of today with this, particular market. And it truly seems like they have no intentions of trying to fix this particular market. They want to tax it more. Great. That really solves the problem. Tax them more so that, whatever, and it solves nothing because the government doesn't come back and then say, oh, by the way, you're not allowed to release games that are so, incredibly broken that 90% of users can't play them. Um, yeah, it's just all the way around wrong, truly, and it needs to come to an end. Um, at least with older games, they couldn't rely on updates in that respect because the internet speeds were so slow that trying to rely on older games literal or trying to rely on updates for older games would literally kill your game. Um, People just wouldn't buy it. I kind of wish that that was the standard and remain the standard, so that we wouldn't have the junk we have going on today, which is, let's say, 80% of all the games released that are actually new games and not, revamps of old games. Um, Functionally speaking, are horribly broken and don't function the way that they were intended to. And the companies fallback, if you want to call it that, is simply, oh, well, we'll give you a day 1 update, and hopefully that'll fix your problem. Oh, well, we'll give you a day 3 update, and hopefully that'll fix your problems. And then, a year and a half later, well, we did everything we could. If your problem's not fixed, oh well. Buy a new system that matches what we've done, or what we recommend, otherwise it won't work. That's insanity. Truly, that's insanity. But this is how these people think today. They've been given so much freedom to just completely lie and be allowed to sell products that are not functional, that they don't even care to make it functional anymore. Because they don't have to. Just sad reality. Anyway, that's my rant for the day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of yours.